In this video, I'm going to show you my 5 favorite slider moves with the slider and also without. Coming up. Alright guys, I've got my next shot set up here. I'm going to be kind of sliding up at an angle at this Japanese maple tree here. Again, trying to get some objects here in the foreground really helps and be able to tell that there's something moving. If you don't have anything in the foreground, it's really hard to tell that you're actually doing a slide. So I've got some foreground elements. We'll kind of go right up through and then boom, right at the Japanese maple. Again, if I was to do that shot going handheld, I would have something like this. Let me get my focal be on that tree back there. Right, and let me zoom out here. I'm using the camera at the moment. Kind of push in and going forward just a little bit, kind of like that. Pulling back again, opposite, just like that. So it looks like the whites here are a little bit blown out. I'm gonna probably get my focus, set that there, go ahead and lock that. And I may actually put the, I might probably end up throwing on the ND filter here. So I'm gonna set this as my A point, and then I'm just gonna kind of slide, and we're gonna turn a little bit there. And I may need to reset my focus for when it's in this final position. About there, I'll set that as my B point. And then I'm gonna probably set this to be like about a 10-second slide here. Confirm that, let it stand by, go back to a starting position. And then go ahead and hit record and start. Boom. Alright, now I'm going to do the same move, but I'm going to do it handheld without the slider here. But again, I'll have to be as smooth as possible and then use some image stabilizing inside of DaVinci Resolve. So again, I'm going to set my A point basically here where I want to be. Slide. Turn. Mosquitoes are just attacking. Start here. Boom. This time get a different angle. Boom. One more time. It's very tough to do a sliding shot like that, be smooth. Alright, here's my next shot that I got set up here. We're basically going to be looking up, we're going to slide, and we're going to turn also. So if I was to basically show you a handheld using the camera here, I'm going to hold up, and as we slide, let me get something focal so the trees will be in focus like that. And as we slide, we're going to turn like this. As we slide. This is exactly how I would do it handheld. The action. Alright, here's the next shot. So I got it all set up here. Got the hedges in my foreground. I'm going to walk past the shot as it slides here just to give myself a subject to film myself basically. And I'm going to have it sliding across here, and it's basically doing a little bit of a pan. Nothing too much. So let's get this shot. Do that shot handheld here. Let me get my focal point, which was kind of like over there. And again, I'm using the phone here because I'm using my camera just because the phone right now is set up already for the next shot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to slide again handheld, holding it. Alright, and then this next shot here, I'm going to try to get a slide here as I was showing that shot before where I was walking. This will be like the footsteps walking, so I'm gonna get a low angle, as low as I possibly can. I can get lower, but with the tripod, I still need it to be as low. It's kind of weird. This is as low as I can get right at now at the moment. So I'm gonna kind of just basically slide across, revealing into this pathway. Hopefully I can get my footstep landing right there as it's sliding across. That's gonna be the shot we're gonna do next. And go ahead and hit record and enter. And now it's moving. I'm gonna time it so right when it gets there, my footstep comes into play. All right, guys, so we're back here at home now, and I want to talk a little bit about the Shark Nano Slider, or Shark Slider Nano. I want to talk a little bit about this thing because it's fantastic, and it's a real good tool for a guy like me who's always by myself filming. This thing has really opened up a lot of options, and it's a lot better in here now than outside because I was getting eaten alive by all those mosquitoes. It was crazy. So let's take a look at some of the details. Unboxing the Shark Slider Nano in 30 seconds. A phone mount, E2, DC2, L1, S2 shutter cables, USB Type 2 cable, NP F750 battery, instruction booklet. First thing first, if you don't know what a slider is, they're kind of like, almost everybody's so much into gimbals now, the sliders are kind of moved out of the limelight. But a slider basically allows you to slide the camera on a horizontal plane, either left to right, or you can also go forward and back. And it just really makes things super smooth. There's two types of sliders. We have a manual slider, and then we have a motorized slider. At the moment here, I'm using a motorized slider, and I also do have some manual sliders, which work just as well. But even if you don't have a slider, you can still achieve these moves handheld, trying to mimic the moves of a slider by sliding left and right, or going forward and back. And then in post, just use a little bit of warp stabilization just to help smooth things out, and then boom, you got your own little slider move. A lot of people were like, well, why don't I just use a gimbal? It does the same thing, right? Technically, it doesn't. When you're walking with the gimbal, or when you have the gimbal, you still have this up and down movement, which is basically also in play. The gimbal will smooth out your axis and your pans, but it does not smooth out that up and down motion. So if I was to do slide with the gimbal, my hand can still move up and down basically, which is basically what a slider doesn't. A slider is locked off on that horizontal. It will not move up and down. It will just slide perfectly left and right. Vice versa, if I set slider to go up and down, it won't move forward or back. It's just gonna keep this plane. So that is the big difference between a gimbal and a slider. I know there is the new Ronin gimbal also has like a fourth dimension where it controls the head up and down. But you know, this is a slider. It's a little bit different than a gimbal. So I would say a gimbal is a gimbal and a slider is a slider. So guys, if you're getting any value out of this video, take a minute just to smash that like button or share this out to somebody who might need this information. I do have a couple of other sliders. For me, I have very small sliders. I don't have a big slider, which I know some of the people who have the big sliders, they complain you need 2 tripods to have it. You know, if you got a slider that's huge, you need 2 tripods on each end to hold it up, and the setup time can be quite, you know, a little annoying. But with this guy here, it's super simple. I just put it on a small tripod, make sure it's nice and sturdy, and then screw it on. Boom, it's ready to go. And then what's even better is to set up shots for me, like programming wise, I don't really need the app. If I just click the 2 buttons on the top there, it goes into a quick mode. I basically slide the slider, press A, get it into position, slide it, get it in B, hit boom. Set the time, standby, start, and boom, that is it. It is super easy to set up shots, and like I don't even have to think about it, so it's not interrupting my whole workflow. This does come equipped with an IPS touchscreen on there, which is fantastic. It is also compatible with an app, which if I was using my phone, I can connect the app to it. The app is very good. The app connected super fast, and it also does have a camera feature where I can record in the app, which is very nice. I'm having issues on my cell phone because my cell phone has have some issues with the camera, but other than that, the app works flawlessly. Now it does come with this big NP battery which connects on the side, which it came with, which I was super happy with. And which is nice is if you have more of those NP batteries, you can basically, you know, you can keep charging and you can keep going. But I found out was unique before I read the instruction manual, I found out by accident. While I saw there's a USB port on the side of it, I had my battery in there and I actually just plugged in the USB just to see, you know, can I power the device without running the battery? And to my surprise, it was actually charging the battery while I was using it, which was like, wow. So I can charge this thing while I'm filming right now, have it plugged into USB Type-C, and it's actually charging the battery also. Now it does take a little longer to charge the battery like that through the USB-C port. I do have an external charger for those type of batteries, which works really fast, but it's just nice to know that if I'm out somewhere and I'm on the go and I can just plug in a little power bank battery and I know I can keep this thing going. So that's very, very convenient. Another thing that's super important when you're using a slider like this, especially a motorized slider, for example, at this moment, I am using it and you don't even hear it. You might actually hear my fan off in the background there, but this thing is super quiet. I've done time lapses. I've actually, all the shots that you guys saw in that precinct forest, I was using my cell phone and it was right there and you can't even hear it. So it is surprisingly super quiet. Now it does have a time-lapse mode that's built in that you can connect the shutter to your camera if you have that type of camera. Unfortunately, my camera is a Stone Age camera from 13 years ago, but I don't really have an issue because I do most of my filming with my cell phone. So like on my cell phone here, I'll just slap my cell phone on there and it works out pretty nice. As far as me getting time lapses and getting shots, I don't really have any issues at all with this slider. It is really just for a rogue filmmaker who's like me, who I'm always by myself, one-man crew. This just gives me many more options because, well, again, it's hard for me to move the camera while I'm in front of the camera, when now I can do some simple moves with this thing here. Super game changer, especially if you're filming by yourself. So if you found any value in this video, guys, I have this other video here where I was using a manual slider. This slider is actually just like this slider. It allows me to slide and rotate the head, but it's all manual. I need to physically push it. It's a lot more cheaper than a big motorized one like this. You can get the same effects done, and a little bit of warp stabilizer or a little bit of stabilization in post will just really make it look nice and smooth. Take a look at that video. Again, don't forget the website is up and it is live. I got a lot of great resources there for you guys who are into filming with your phone or taking photos with your phone. Take a look at this website there. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Patrick Levar, keep filming. It's the only way you'll get better. Peace.